What should you do before listing your house in Northern Virginia in the summer of 2026? Hi, I'm Casi Carey, your relocation specialist and your Vienna, Virginia local, and I love to post videos just for your information purposes only. And today, we're in June 2026. I want to share with you what I am encouraging sellers to do before listing their home on the market this summer. And you're probably wondering, like, why in the world would that be any different? Well, it's different because our buyer activity in Northern Virginia in the summer slows down. Like, not just a little, it slows down a lot. If you look at the charts, historically in Northern Virginia and what the showing activity is from January to December, in June, the day schools gets out, you'll see it starts here and then it plummets. It totally goes down because families, people, they move. They leave Northern Virginia right away when it gets hot because the summers here in Northern Virginia are hot. And everyone's waiting for that break. So the moment school gets out, people leave, buyer activity plummets, but that doesn't mean that you won't sell your house this summer. It does mean you have to prepare your house for sale. So what we are seeing right now in June 2026 is that the houses that have not been painted, that have not been refreshed, are sitting longer. So if you want to list your house this summer, you need to walk through your home with an advisor and have the conversation with them of, hey, what should we do to make the house move-in ready? Because that's what buyers want. They don't want to do a thing. If you have 1 million light fixtures all around your house, change them. And I know that sounds silly, but buyers are walking in thinking, oh, I got to change that. I got to change that. Your light overhead is outdated, or you have this super old chandelier. You might think it's awesome, but people who are buying a home do not. They really don't. They walk in and they see a headache. They're like, okay, we got to pick out a new light. We got to repaint the walls. We got to rip out the carpet. We're going to refinish the floors. Every time, every single thing that you don't do to get your house ready is a thing that gives the buyer hesitation. So when you're fixing it up, it is those little things. Change the carpet if you don't want to put in luxury vinyl. Change the light fixtures. Change the hardware. Put in a new vanity in your bathroom. I'm not asking you to completely renovate your kitchen. Sometimes give it a tiny refresh. What if you just changed the countertops? What if you just repainted the cabinets and put on new hardware? I like to call this a little facelift. That's really what you want for your home. Give it a facelift. Don't do cheap and crappy things, but give it the attention it needs so someone can walk in and within 7 seconds it's like, oh, okay, we can move in here. And even if there are bigger updates, like a big kitchen upgrade, they can live with it for now. And that's the reason I don't ever suggest huge renovations, because what your style is and what you might pick and what I'm going to say flippers might pick, they're not always what people want. And, we've gone through that trend where it's white cabinets, black hardware, white cabinets, black hardware, white cabinets, black hardware, gray LVP, gray walls. It's stale. And what you don't want is to spend money on something that someone is then going to tear out. So working with an agent who maybe partners with an interior designer or someone who knows, like, hey, let's make this a little bit warmer. Let's make this a house that someone feels good when they come into and that doesn't feel like you just put lipstick on a pig. Please don't put lipstick on a pig. Try to be intentional. Make it really turnkey for a buyer to not have to think twice. So that really is tip number 1 when you are selling your house this summer for sale. Just make it turnkey ready. Give it a little refresh. Give it a little facelift, a little Botox, just a little sprinkle, not a whole facelift. And number 2 is you've got to price it right. Please, I'm begging you, don't try to get the top of the market value for your home right now in the summer. If your house is prepared and presented and priced right, your house will still move. But don't try the top number, because what happens is, I know you might be like, well, we're not in a rush. It doesn't matter to us. We can be on the market. The longer you're on the market, the more a buyer thinks, what's wrong with this house? What's wrong with this house? Or I can get an opportunity. And if your house is on the market at the top of the budget, or we'll say atop of the comps, and you've been on the market for 30 days, if a client or a buyer hasn't offered you a below list offer, you're too high. Because even when I'm working with buyers and we see something's on the market for 30 days, we might offer significantly below list because we're going to at least try to start the conversation. So if you're not even getting a conversation starter, something's wrong. It's either doesn't look right, it's priced too high, or it doesn't look right and you're priced too high. That's really it. It all comes down to that. In the summer, it is so important that you are intentional with your listing. So if you are thinking about listing, have a look in the mirror and be like, what are we willing to do to get this right? It's not 30 offers per house. It's not waiving all the contingencies right now. All my buyers are getting houses under contract with their contingencies, usually at or around list price. Honestly, we're not going above right now. We're not seeing it go above at all at this moment in the market in June 2026. So that is something to prepare yourself for. If it just is what it is. This isn't the spring market anymore. We're not seeing 30 offers on a house. So you've got to do the work up front to get your house ready for sale. I had another thing, which now I've lost my mind. Oh, I know. You're living in your home. Oh, you're living in your home and selling it this summer. It's not easy. It is not easy. So I'm going to give you a few tips here too. Make sure your house is decluttered. It's got to be depersonalized. Take all your photos down. Take any, I know everyone loves their like college degrees and their certificates and all this stuff for work. Take it down. Super proud of you, but take it down. You want the buyer to see themselves there. So if you can work with a stager, even it's called fluffing, you get them in there and you make your home look like a non-lived-in home, that will help so much. And you gotta be ready to get out of the home as much as possible. I know it's inconvenient. You're trying to live in a spotless home. Yes, it should be spotless. If you haven't deep cleaned, hire someone right now, immediately. You gotta get a deep clean. You've gotta keep it clean. You've gotta keep it decluttered and you gotta get out. So we're priced right, we're presented well, we're getting out, we're decluttering. There are a few things that you've got to do to get this house ready to sell this summer. If you need help, just let me know. My email is Cassie, C-A-S-I, at thecareycollective.com. My cell phone number is 513-284-5396. My goal is to be your resource for all things Northern Virginia market. If you have questions, let me know. We are on every single platform you can imagine: LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, I don't know what I'm missing, Pinterest, blogs, careycollective.com. Please reach out. We want to give you information so that you can make the decision that is best for you.